So you would have seen firsthand that we've just sort of increased our output of videos lately. Typically, it used to be one video every week. We're now on the precipice of probably doing 2 videos per week, just because we think the more content we get out there, the better. And we can, each piece of content, as you know, can be used in a variety of different sources. The best way, though, to kind of keep right on the pulse of what content's going out and the strategy would be to look at the YouTube, because it kind of all starts with YouTube. And you can see each of these content pieces, there's a variety of aspects we'll look at. Obviously, there's the selection of the video we're going to use. There's the writing of the titles, descriptions, and social media content. And then it ultimately ends up also getting loaded out into an email that gets sent out to the database. When you combine this with building up a list that you're communicating with on a regular basis, when you're connecting with your target audience on LinkedIn and slowly building that audience up, and then you're posting this regular content that's tailored to that particular niche, you do that over a period of time, and then you really start to appear to be the expert in that space. And it ends up being this snowball that starts to grow as people subscribe and engage in the content. So the way that this whole machine starts is we start off, I've got a folder where we take any sort of recordings, podcasts, interviews, presentations, Q&A sessions, and I take the final recording of that particular session and I drop it into a folder. That's kind of where it starts. Then the next step after that is it gets assigned to a team member who does the time coding. So time coding just looks like this. Someone will basically watch the video and they'll look for the little clips inside the bigger clips. So they'll watch it and they'll say, that would make an interesting standalone video. Where did that start and where did that stop? We've also popped the few words that would start that particular clip and the few words that would end that particular clip. Also, the person who does the time coding also just makes a few notes about what the video is about. So this is kind of like that first step, is we just need to sift through all of the content to find the pieces that will ultimately get broken out as individual videos. Once that happens and we've got these time-coded spreadsheets, we can then we use a service called Automation Agency. There's plenty of different services, or maybe you go to Upwork and you find a contractor, or over time you could skill up a VA to handle all of these processes I'm going to go through. But you really just need someone with very basic video editing skills who can be given the main video, chop it into segments, add a lower third, which might have your name on it, and have an intro and an outro at the end. And that's the guts of the content that's going to be created. So it's a pretty easy task to actually then get those videos chopped up. Once they're kind of chopped up, the next step is they appear on a master spreadsheet where we just start cataloging all of the different videos as they're about to come due, and what videos have we got in the can and what are the different assets related to those videos. Because you'll see in a moment we end up creating an Asana task. There's a Google document that houses all of the social media content that's going to be shared. And you can see here there's a couple of other links once the video goes live and things like that. So we basically have this running document which then collates which videos can be used. Then from there, we have a process. It's like inside Asana here. It's called Content Machine. And just down here, we just have a master template, which I'll walk you through. This just gets duplicated, and there's a range of subtasks that each video goes through. We review the video and decide if further edits are required. We then assign that video to be edited if it's needed, and then we start preparing the documentation, which is a Google document, which I'll show you in a moment. We then get ChatGPT to do the writing of the copy. We get a higher level writer to review it. I've got just a final glance over it to make sure it's good. We have a look at creating some thumbnails, Then it gets loaded into YouTube and saved as unlisted so that it can then be dripped out. You want to queue up content well in advance of when you actually need it. And it's just sitting there as unlisted. So that way, when the time comes to actually mail or you need it, it's ready to go.